It finally happened. For the first time in meme day history, Dogecoin has actually gone up a decent amount on the day itself. And I know what you're going to say. Well, Bitcoin's gone up a lot too. We've seen a lot of cryptocurrencies going up. Dogecoin actually going up more than pretty much every single other altcoin in the last 24 hours. We even saw it spike all the way up to as high as 36 cents approximately. It's fallen back a little bit since then, but still up very big on the day. That's fantastic to see. And it comes as we have big news coming out about Bitcoin and El Salvador, causing Bitcoin to go up a heck of a lot, close to 14% just in the last 24 hours alone. Dogecoin not far behind in its spikeage, and the other altcoins are even lower, but still spiking a decent amount as well. A great day for cryptocurrency altogether as people start to realize the potential that it has, as people start to realize, as I go in the news, and other people go on the news, other YouTubers, other influencers start talking more and more about how no, the government didn't actually crack the code of Bitcoin to recover that. They just went directly through the exchange to do so. But here is why this news is so big. El Salvador being the first nation to accept Bitcoin as legal tender basically means that every single country doing business in El Salvador, Tesla is included in that, will now have to actually accept Bitcoin legally. They have to. They don't have a choice. And that means a ton of major companies across the globe who do business in El Salvador are now legally obligated to accept Bitcoin. That includes some of the biggest companies in the world. And so we're going to see them starting to introduce cryptocurrency payments. Once they do it in one country, it's going to be way easier to do it in others too. And not just that, this is big in a number of other ways, because in El Salvador, approximately 75% of people don't have access to the traditional banks. The average salary, or the median salary in El Salvador is $8,486. You compare that to the US, which is approximately $36,000. So money versus money, it's different, and there's more and more of a reason in that country, especially in El Salvador, for this to actually happen. It does also mean that those people in El Salvador are very, very, very subject to big changes in Bitcoin, which means people are going to be more wary of if they say positive or negative things about Bitcoin, mostly wary of the negative side. I think people are going to start being more careful as more countries start to accept it. We really are early in something that's going to change the world. So many countries with economic systems that are hard to run or that are not working well, to the point when you have 75% of people in your country that don't even have access to that traditional system, that's really a problem. And this gives them access easily. You no longer have to worry about those things. You don't have to worry about running them or making sure they work. It really is a positive thing. And the 6 million people in El Salvador, I believe we're going to see that number going way, way, way up as we see more countries accepting Bitcoin. But there's another big solution here. There are a number of countries that are very, very, very small with less than 1 million people that we could probably petition and get them to start accepting Dogecoin as legal tender. Maybe not perhaps their only legal currency, but if they start accepting Dogecoin as legal tender, then any company doing business there would have to accept Dogecoin as well. So that could be a project that we work on as a community, and we see some big things happening there, as we have seen this with the cryptocurrency landscape in the last 24 hours, up approximately 10%. That's mainly just fueled by Bitcoin going up as much as it has. Bitcoin has gone up by 12.15%. That really has caused pretty much all of that spikeage that we've seen in total with the crypto market. A lot of altcoins that are really small have been doing pretty decently as well. Then when it comes to the top ones, Dogecoin up approximately 6%, which is more than pretty much every single other altcoin up there at the top, except for Binance Coin, which has gone up 7.95%. Altogether though, we have seen some of the best movement we've seen in a while from cryptocurrency. And we've been saying that would most likely happen too, because it was getting near the point where it was going to be the worst month for Bitcoin since I believe 2012 or something like that. And so you're not going to have 2 months like that in a row. At least it's never happened before in history where you have 2 months of that magnitude. So we knew a resurgence, a spike like this was likely going to start at some point. Now it seems like it could be even bigger than we're expecting. And I hope some of that energy that we were starting to feel only a couple of months ago will not only come back, it'll come back way bigger than it was before. Not only is that possible, I think has a pretty decent chance of happening because there's only positive things really that can come from the news we're seeing right now. Yesterday, not as much of a positive one. This one definitely is. Here is every single country in the world on a map. There are over 200 countries. It's somewhere between 200 and 250. Sometimes some people say it's less than that if you don't count certain islands. Some people say it's slightly more than that. It really can be any number that you want to give it, but we'll just say it's somewhere between 200 and 250 based on my calculation and the ones I consider to be actual countries. United States, Mexico, Brazil, some of the biggest ones in our hemisphere. But with all of these countries, you really think there's not going to be more that fall in El Salvador's path? Of course there are going to be. A ton of them, especially countries in South and Central America, because those are some of the countries that have the biggest problems with access to traditional banking and things like that. But there's a stat with a medium U.S. salary, 35,977, and that's from 2019. I believe it's a little bit higher now. Not too shabby. But how Dogecoin rose from meme to major cryptocurrency. Guess who made this article? You're not going to believe it. Everyone, pinch yourself right now. The Motley Fool just came out with this article saying positive things about Dogecoin, going from meme to major cryptocurrency. About time, but keep in mind, this is from Andrew Hayward. He's only been positive on cryptocurrency from what I've seen so far at the Motley Fool. It's the other writers at the Motley Fool that tend to do these terrible articles. Different writers, different opinions. This one, though, shout out to Andrew Hayward for an article like that coming out. I love it. He's 100% right about that. Dogecoin, technically speaking, has never been a joke, but the energy around it has definitely shifted from joke specifically to now legitimate cryptocurrency that is competing for that number one spot, and I think has a decent chance of going there. Elon Musk also just tweeted out just now. That's interesting. Let's see what Elon Musk said. A big tweet coming in right now from Elon, potentially. We were hoping for a big announcement today. Unfortunately, once again, just like with 420, it didn't happen. Even after he liked a tweet that seemed to signal he could be about to do a big announcement. Very unfortunate, but Dogecoin's still going up despite that. We still do have time left as well. Oftentimes around 4 a.m. is when Elon Musk chooses to tweet stuff like that. So we'll still be waiting and seeing. And maybe something good will happen, or maybe just now. Look at this. Hackers in movies be like, I'm in. That's pretty funny. So tweeting about hackers in movies, nothing about Dogecoin, though. He did respond to my tweet earlier today, and that was in response. I was tweeting out because some people were hating on Elon for different things, and so I just said, hey, Elon Musk, he doesn't use more resources. He uses less, actually, than most multimillionaires. So I just kind of made that point. And Elon responded with a full statement there. And so how do we know that Elon Musk, some of the reasons that people are hating on him are unjustified? Well, we talked to him, and he said so himself. My primary house is literally a $50,000 house in Boca Chica / Starbase that I rent from SpaceX. It kind of is awesome, though. Only house I own is the events house in the Bay Area. If I sold it, though, the house would see less use unless bought by a big family, which might happen someday. That's the house that he's using for rentals that people can rent out if they want. Imagine a big Dogecoin or cryptocurrency event at Elon's house. I think that would be pretty dang fun. Maybe we would have to look into something like that. I would not be surprised if that ended up doing really, really, really well as an event. Who knows? Maybe it will. Elon also saying his house is now worth approximately $69,000. Maybe. From some of the improvements he's made. So we do like that. Some of the Elon hate is justified and some of it isn't. I think it's clear that we should be putting a distinction between the justified and the unjustified. If you want to go after Elon and say, hey, he probably should have been a little bit more careful to not stop accepting Bitcoin with Tesla, his reasons behind it, maybe not the best reasons. And we've proven over and over again that the environmental impacts that Bitcoin have are significantly less than the environmental impacts that we've seen from other cryptocurrencies. El Salvador is going to continue to prove that. And so the reasons that are wrong, the hate in that specific area is, in my opinion, 100% justified. But I don't think it should be put out of that. And I think once Elon Musk and Tesla start accepting Bitcoin again, the people who have been hating on him for that specific reason should come back around, hopefully, and start understanding that Elon is trying to make the world better overall, and cryptocurrency is part of Elon's plan to make the world better. Still the only major company in the top of the company list that's holding Bitcoin. And that's not something to be underrated. If Bitcoin specific people, and I love Bitcoin, by the way, I'm a huge Bitcoin person, but I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I like Dogecoin for it to be the currency of Earth, not Bitcoin. But the Bitcoin maxis who focus specifically on that, if they continue going in the direction they're going against Elon Musk, they're going to tempt him to sell all of his BTC and put it into Dogecoin instead. So be careful with what you're doing. I was talking to Big Boy Crypto as well a little bit today, and I understand some of his reasons, but I disagree with some of the other ones. I think that's the way it is. Big Boy Crypto, he's a good dude, so don't be going against him or anything. Is my personal thoughts on that. But I do disagree with some of his reasoning and some of the things that he put in that video he made today. Then we're also seeing the 9 smallest countries in the world by population. This is a list right here. And so that includes Monaco with 37,000. It includes San Marino with approximately 33,000. And all of these countries here, I feel like they'll be good potential options to accept Dogecoin as a legal currency there. Therefore, making every single business there having to accept Dogecoin. I think that'd be awesome. So we're going to maybe push for one of those countries there to try to accept it soon. Let me know what you think will be the best one for it. That's a fact. Yeah, I agree. Look up. Oh yeah, I did see that as well. So we have seen government officials coming in and saying some negative things about cryptocurrency. I'll get to that in 1 second. First though, this is a hilarious article. Since this article, Bitcoin is up 14%. Bitcoin's terrible run isn't over yet. They're saying, oh, no, you know what, we gotta pull the roast music for this. I think it's time to pull the roast music and get the roast underway. You thought you could stay away from the roast for longer, didn't you, Lara? But no, Lara, you cannot. It is time to pull the roast music right now, and you're going to feel the full fury of 1,000 roasts. What can you do now? Well, you could have done something 24 hours ago, but you decided not to. You decided to still come out with this silly article, and you're going to get roasted for it. You deserve it. Lara, he coming in and saying some silly things about Bitcoin. The run's not over was the prediction, but you know what? Since the article has come out, it's been going up a lot. Some of the points he made in there were just simply talking about how it could be traced, but it can't be traced, and we've proven that over and over and over again using the actual stats there. So Lara, coming in from CNN Business at 10:16 a.m. yesterday, definitely needs to be coming in again with an apology article because she doesn't know what she's talking about. Maybe perhaps you should do some more research, Lara, before coming in with an article like that. It wasn't funny, it wasn't good, you didn't have any points hardly at all at this current point in time. So you should have thought about that first. You should have definitely thought about that first. Then we also saw them coming out with this article. Bitcoin just cleared another hurdle from CNN Business, a different writer though. So the first they say it's over, then they're like, okay, we'll backtrack a little bit on that. Yeah, you will. And even still, it may still stumble. They still are not believing in cryptocurrency. A lot of these major media outlets, they don't understand the potential it has. Some do, but those are the select few right now. And eventually, they're going to be proven wrong in a big way. It's only a matter of time before that happens. As yes, I did see that coming in from, let me see if I can pull it up here. Oh, here it is. Yeah, so Warren, U.S. government needs to confront crypto threats head on, and there's some degree to which it kind of makes sense. Like, you don't want to have people doing scams or shady things like that, but I do think the government right now is trying to maybe go a little bit too far with this, maybe even way too far. And we're, of course, anyone who tries to do that, we will call them out on it. So she said, cryptocurrency has created opportunities to scam investors, assist criminals, and worsen the climate crisis, which we know, yes, there's some opportunities to scam, but there's opportunities to scam with pretty much everything. So that's not necessarily a big reason right there. Then also assist criminals. That's a small percentage of what's happening with cryptocurrency, a very, very small percentage, and it's getting better too as people start to learn. What we really need is awareness about that, so people know. As we see a few chats coming in very, very, very fast. Let me read those chats here real quick. And keep in mind too, I always say this anytime I talk about politics in any way, I never go after one specific party. Anytime I see things that are happening that are bad, we're going to call them out. Mexico looking to make Bitcoin legislation. Ooh, I like the sound of that. Mexico could be coming in. Thank you for the chat. Then let me see a couple more of these chats here. El Salvador to the moon. I like that. Coming in from LoveSick02. Doge for El Salvador. And also Sam says pump. Then we have one more chat after that. BitBoy just lost a ton of respect, says William, but he canceled himself with that video. I don't know. I mean, I still personally think BitBoy overall is doing some good things for cryptocurrency, but yeah, I do completely understand where you're coming from. I do think that video didn't have enough research behind it to be putting it out, but I mean, BitBoy Crypto can do what BitBoy Crypto wants to do, obviously, and I've still been talking to him too. So you know, if you anytime your friend says something you disagree with, if you stop being friends with them, it seems like that's a little bit extreme, but you know, I guess it is what it is. We've disagreed on things in the past too, not the first time, and it probably won't be the last, and that's okay. Not everyone has to agree on everything all the time. We don't need state-sponsored bank interfering with the successful free enterprise system, said Senator Pat Toomey. Then we also see the hearing held by Senate Banking Committee marked one of the most focused debates yet in Congress, the implications of a Fed-backed digital currency. And so yeah, that's kind of what's been happening with the political side of cryptocurrency. We have been seeing some people coming in and saying negative things like this, or saying they want to regulate it, and as long as they don't go too far, it's not the end of the world, but they really do need to be careful not to go too far, because that would be a very, very bad thing. As we see more and more articles coming about El Salvador coming out. El Salvador makes Bitcoin legal Tinder. Also, the president looking to use volcanoes to mine crypto because of the heat being produced by them. Actually kind of smart. Maybe we'll have to talk about that more. I think it's a genius idea. El Salvador president. Well, it may be difficult to do, but if it works, it's a genius idea. Then this one says, do you think Dogecoin will ever be forked like what happened with Bitcoin Cash? It already has been forked plenty of times. There's a lot of forks of Dogecoin out there. Alex coming in with a chat. Thank you so much, Alex, coming in as well. Much love for that. And Dogecoin will take over the world. I agree with you. Coming in from American there. If Dogecoin takes over the world, then we will all have a smile on our face. And I should say when Dogecoin takes over the world, because there's a decent chance of that happening. Victory Capital announces to enter cryptocurrency. their big plan for that. So we're seeing more big capital groups, big investment groups looking at cryptocurrency as an investment opportunity. Dogecoin's going to be included in that, of course, but so will, I think, other cryptocurrencies. The top 7 are really the main ones we should be looking at for big moves here in the future, and that includes Litecoin, Dogecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Binance Coin, even potentially Tether. You can throw it in there even though it doesn't really count, but still, majority of money laundering occurs through cash fiat. That's true, which is untraceable. Crypto is traceable, so those negatives news are bogus. You're 100% right about that. It's only, but well, not 100% actually. You're mostly right about that. It's only traceable to an extent. You can see where it goes, but you don't know who does it. But that's still true though, that the vast majority is coming through money, and even still, crypto is easier to stop scammers and hackers than it is with normal fiat when it comes to money laundering and things like that. So that's still definitely true. But Bitcoin surging, I think, is a beautiful thing. I hope the Bitcoin surge continues. It's not that big of a surge in the full chart, but it is a pretty big surge. But anyway, I'm Matt Wass. This is Final Stand, and I will see you in the next video.